Hello and welcome back to United We Stand, Divided We Podcast, Episode 1, Season 2. And I'm with my co-host, Lionel, from the great country of Canada.
That's right. And of course, you are in the great country of the United States of America. Yeah, you see, we don't rag on each other about that unless it's to do with sports. Because we're all friends. We all have family and friends and coworkers across the border. And we like to talk about all the things that we have that are different and all the things that we have that are the same and places that we like to visit, sports and technology. Yep. And Robert, for anybody who doesn't know, he went on a little trip and he was gone for the week. And so we're going to bring up a few things that happened while you were gone. And then Robert's going to tell us all about stuff that he did while he was not everything. I mean, technology wise, the stuff to do with what we want to talk about on the podcast. Because his personal business has nothing to do with this. But that said, let me just bring up the first thing, because why not? Let's get the elephant in the room so we can get the elephant out of the room. Ray gun.
Oh, yes. Good old ray gun. I actually feel really bad for her. She really,
I don't.
Regardless of how bad it was, she really put a lot of effort into it, and she was really serious about it. And all the backlash she took on social media and stuff was really unfair, and it actually really caused
people should not bully people, even on the internet, whatever. I agree with that, but I'm going to say flat out, if you're talking about somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean you're bullying somebody. When you start directing it directly at them, you're going too far. If you start trying to convince other people that they should be bullies, you're going too far. But there's no way anybody's going to be able to tell me I shouldn't be able to sit here and say, I disagree with you. I think she sucks. As for giving her all,
you're not disagreeing.
I agree. 100% think that she knew damn well she had zero chance and she took an opportunity away from somebody else. I could be wrong. But you know what? This could be our point counterpoint section. Something we do new for season 2. Point counterpoint. You know, we should do that from now on, actually. I actually think that'd be a good idea. But unfortunately, I'm not sure you disagree on this one as much.
Well, for those of you wondering why we're season 2, episode 1 kind of thing, is because we both kind of I went on vacation, came back. It's been a week. He's got his area looking really good. If you've noticed, he's got his TV in the background. So we just figured it was time to start and turn
my personal photos that I've taken.
Right.
There's a couple of them. I may switch those out every week from now on. It could happen, or maybe every few weeks, whatever. I like to show off my work, but.
Yeah, she was absolutely 100% terrible. There's no disagreement on that.
Yeah.
I do disagree that she took something away from somebody else, because my understanding is the Australian Olympic Committee is the one that chose her to go.
They did not. It was not the Australian Olympic Committee.
Well,
I can't remember the name of it. I'd have to look it up.
Governs that body in Australia. She doesn't just randomly go.
And there's a lot of false rumors going around, mainly based originally on people who didn't know what they're talking about and were just trying to stir up trouble, saying things like her husband was in charge and one of the judges, and that she started up the organization herself, and blah, blah, blah. All of that has been proven false, because they were actually people that were there that are breakers that know that's not the case. However, if you talk to a bunch of people from Australia who are involved in breaking, they'll also tell you that there is something untoward that went on there, and that she should not have won, because there were people who weren't even being able to go to the competition that she won in order to get to the Olympics. That was the issue. She clearly did win, but she also did about 3 times better at the I saw the footage. And incidentally, by the way, you can't put footage of her on YouTube anymore, apparently. It's a takedown notice for everybody that's using it from the IOC.
Interesting. Yeah. Didn't know that. But I don't post photos of or pictures or
No, no,
videos of
photos are
Reagan.
fine.
So.
It's video. You
No,
can't
I
put
don't.
the
I don't,
video.
I don't post any
Yeah,
of
so
that of
there's really
Reagan.
funny AI videos of her now because they can use the photos because fair use.
Right.
But in all honesty, I don't think the takedowns should have happened anyways, because again, it's fair use. This is the Olympics. It's already happened. It's already been broadcast. They don't do rebroadcasts of the Olympics live. You only get to see clips. If you're working as a creator on YouTube and you're reacting to things, believe it or not, it does fall under the category of journalistic. As long as you're not, can be tasteful about it, at least to some degree, you could be considered a journalist if you analyze what's happening. And the first person I heard about being taken down was doing just that. They weren't doing that like making fun of her and laughing at her. They were explaining why she shouldn't, like that she didn't get any points and why she shouldn't have been at the Olympics and stuff like that. And that's journalistic. That's like doing an expose on CBS in 1972. Guy goes in and he starts asking questions. Are you kidding me? I apologize for this. I'm going to screen this call. Why is she calling me now? Everybody knows on Wednesday I do podcasts.
So do I need to start our podcast now and say, will everyone please silence their phones? Like we were in church or something? But yeah, I don't, I don't know. I just think the reason why the takedowns are happening, I think, is because people are using it in a very malicious manner. Not everybody, but some people are. And so she, I think, is having some issues with it. But I also heard, and if you're going to do this, you can't actually say don't use it if you're going to monetize yourself and make $1 million doing it.
Right.
So I did hear that she's like starting with some ad agency or something, and they want to monetize her fame, which is fine. Go for it. It's just like that stupid Hot Tua girl. I mean, she's making bank right now. It's like, great. If you can make bank off a Hot Tua, I'd Hot Tua and make some bank,
Yeah, I 100% agree. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're not doing something illegal or something immoral, and somebody wants to give you money for it, that's fine. I mean, like if you're a mass murderer and you're in prison, somebody says, I want to give you a book deal. You're a piece of crap. You're probably going to take it. But anybody who buys it is a piece of garbage. I'm sorry. Things like that. Yes. Yeah. But if you're just really bad at breaking and somebody wants to give you some kind of a deal to do appearances, or do a book or whatever, go for it. Absolutely.
Like, look, if there's anybody out there,
anybody.
If there's anybody out there who wants to give two old guys that are trying to make a podcast go a bunch of money, we are not above doing, we'll cluck like chickens or whatever.
I don't know. Well, I don't think I would cluck like a chicken. But, if you want to give me some money,
make money. Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely. I did. Oh, oops! I just smacked my table. That's interesting. I don't really care. I'm not getting up in the middle of a podcast. That's interesting, though. However, I will say this. I may end up having to get up for a couple of seconds, but if that's the case, Robert is going to talk to you about some stuff that he did. And you know what? Why don't we actually, I'll tell you what, why don't we get to that? And then we can sort of talk about some of the other things that went on last week while you were gone. Well, this week. Kind of both, actually. A little last week, a little this week that have gone on. And some of the things also that we're both catching up on has just come up now. I won't mention any names or the letters COD. But so tell us, you went there and you took more than one tracker with you. And you're basically gonna be talking on your own because I'm gonna go deal with something while you're telling everybody. I know it sounds weird, but hey, it's a podcast.
Okay.
You never know what's gonna happen, man. It's live.
All right. Well, solo podcast. Here we go. So, yes, he is correct. I took a trip to Barbados with my wife. We were gone for 9 days. And I also have a tech channel, which I'll link it in the description here on this podcast. But I wanted to test the new Pebble Bee clip and the new Galaxy Smart Tag 2 to see how well they compare to each other. Now, bear in mind the Galaxy Smart Tag 2 is an ultra wideband capable device, whereas the Pebble Bee clip is not. And so I kind of want to see how it compares. Obviously, the Samsung device can only be used on Samsungs. The Pebble Bee clip can be used on Android. It doesn't have to be a Samsung. It can be any Android phone. And I can tell you that, yeah, results were really bad for Pebble Bee. Pretty much the Samsung device blew the Pebble Bee out of the water. The ultra wideband tracking capability was, I'm not going to say pinpoint accurate, but it was very accurate. If I truly had lost something that was a part of, I could have easily found it in pretty much any location I was at, whether it be the Nashville airport, whether it was Barbados airport, it didn't matter. The Pebble Bee gave me a range of like this. And at one point, when we landed in Barbados, this is hilarious. My luggage showed to be like 200 or 300 miles out, still in the ocean. But we were on the ground at the airport in Barbados. Keep in mind, too, I took my original Samsung tracker, the original one, and it was reporting correctly. So it outperformed the Pebble Bee. And the Pebble Bee is a brand new device on Google's Find My Device network. Google has a long way to go to get that network up and running. Now, there's a new device that Motorola has that's the Moto Tag. And I actually was able to buy one yesterday and his shipped. So I will be able to take that with me. Yeah, I will be able to take that with me to Europe when we leave in 2 or 3 weeks with my son.
I'm not at all jealous about that trip.
And we'll see how well the ultra wideband on the Moto device works on Google's network, because that's ultra wideband capable, just like the Galaxy Smart Tag 2, unlike the Pebble Bee. I'll tell you this. I can't recommend a Pebble Bee. And if I had bought the Pebble Bee and that's the only thing I had, I would be returning it. And the only reason I'm keeping it is so I can continue to test their network, as I hope they continue to fix it, because it's garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah. You're not the only one. There are a lot of reviews I've read and seen some on YouTube. They're oh my God. Some of them had worse experiences than you with Pebble Bee.
How much worse do you get than your luggage being 300 miles out in the ocean and you're parked on that?
It hasn't left yet, and you're already in Japan.
Okay, but that's
you get worse. Back home a week later, and it's over Germany on its way to Japan. I mean, I've seen some strange things on out there. What's the other one called again?
Chipotle.
I'm sorry, because I missed. Did you say you took that one too?
No, I don't have a Chipotle. I'm not buying a Chipotle. No, because it's basically the same thing as a Pebble Bee.
Apparently not. According to some of them, it's not going to touch the Samsung, not yet. But apparently, it is actually better. It does ping sooner. It pings more often, and it pings more accurately.
Probably because the Chipotle network because they've had their own network for a long time, is probably far more vast than the Pebble Bee.
Yeah, but it's not using its network. It's using the Google network.
Yes, but it's using the Google network with other Chipotle devices on it, which are far more plentiful than the Pebble Bee.
Well, no, it's not, because the other Chipotle have to be on Google's network, not on the Chipotle network. Unfortunately, they're not compatible with each other. The thing is that one reason why it's working better is probably a number of reasons. One is maybe there's more of them already. I doubt that that's it.
I don't know.
But it's probably just that they're a little stronger. And maybe also they built them different. Sorry, excuse me. They built them differently so that they actually do um, attempt to ping more often. The problem with the Pebble Bee is that it doesn't even bother trying, and apparently the only way to get it to work is to mark it as lost, and even then, by the time it tells you, it's already a few hundred miles further on. By the time it gets back to you, so
Yeah, I don't know. It was bad.
did you try the mark as lost thing?
No, I didn't turn that
Apparently,
on.
that's what you mark it as lost, and it
But
shows
you
up.
shouldn't have to do that.
No, of course not. And also, again,
So
if you do that and it shows you where it was 2 hours before you marked it as lost, it's still not accurate.
right.
Right. Also, if it shows that it's somewhere in the vicinity of the airport, way over there, but you know damn well it's in the luggage with the other ones right here that are pinging right here,
Yeah.
it's also not correct. And Pebble Bee
Yeah.
has a tendency to do that more so than the Chipotle. I'm just gonna call it Chipotle. I'm sorry.
It's Chipotle. But
Chipotle.
the original tracker and the Pebble Bee were literally on the same keyring. So they were like next to each other.
Right.
And the original Samsung was tracking way better than the Pebble Bee.
Well, of course.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. The
It's
Smart
the
Tag
network.
2 with the ultra wideband, flawless, perfect. I was extremely
absolutely.
happy with
Now,
that.
if you have a Samsung, you really can't go any other way.
Yeah.
Although one thing I don't understand is why do you have to have a Samsung to use the Samsung trackers? I think that's a mistake on Samsung's part. They should have just opened it up and then said to Google, like, here, make your technology based on this. It's like,
Yeah, but I'm
work
sure it has
together. I
something
mean,
to
they're
do
in bed
with
with each other for everything else. Why not that?
yeah, who
Because
knows?
it
But
works.
like I showed you in the mapping though, even the map, Samsung using Google Maps looks better than Google using Google Maps. It's
And
terrible.
that just proves my point.
It's
Samsung
terrible.
just said, just use ours. Here, it's right here. Use ours, and we can sell more. And then what they could do is they could license Pebble Bee and Chipotle to use Samsung's network.
Yeah,
They would
I
have made a
100%
killing.
agree.
Like
It's
$1.50 a tracker. People would have bought billions of them.
yeah, it's again, I don't know the whole Google, think tank, but I think they completely missed the mark here.
Well, they didn't miss the mark on everything. They nailed it out of the park on this one, smashed it out of the park. You know what? Hang on. What am I doing? Let's take this bad boy out of the case. Drop. Oh no. There we go. See, I gotta get it in the light, so I'm not blocking the light. Look at that beauty. I love this thing, and this screen is so. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Can you see this? Let's see if I get this on camera. Bang! Why does that have to happen? Did I miss it? Seriously, it's like seriously. Normally, all right. There we go. Okay, watch. Tap. Right. Literally, there's no press and hold. Just tap. Ultrasonic. So everyone that was saying, "Oh, we should have an ultrasonic," and everyone else, and all these other people going, "No, our mine works fine. There's nothing wrong with it." And I was in that stupid camp too. But I'm a believer in the ultrasonic fingerprint reader now. I can tell you.
I wish my S23 Ultra worked that well.
Well, the S24 does, but you chose to skip it.
Yeah, because I'll be getting the S25.
Yeah, but you're normally a phone a year.
Yeah, but
you dropped out of the park, man. You have no right to be in this discussion anymore. You're a lightweight now. You used to be a phone a year guy, and see, look at that. I'm going to get right in there and.
Yeah,
but no, listen. I'll be honest. Most of the reviews, and I say most because there's always going to be somebody who's got something negative to say about everything. Most of the reviews for this phone, the XL, the regular Pro, the 9, which pretty much people had 9 Pro. Nobody has except for reviewers right now, in most places because it's still shipping in September. But and even the Fold, everyone's just clamoring on about how great it is. For those who have heard some negative stories, they're very few and far between. Also, usually from people who haven't tried the phone. The battery life on this is teetering between, like, depending on who you've watched on YouTube or where you've read it and what article, it's somewhere between almost as good as Samsung not quite as good as Apple, to somewhat good as Apple, not quite as good as Samsung, to better than Samsung, but not as good as Apple, better than Apple, not as good as Samsung, or better than both. Basically, how you use the phones is obviously going to depend on stuff. But the
100%.
bottom line is an iPhone 15 Pro Max, a Galaxy S24 Ultra, and a Pixel 9 Pro XL. All of them have pretty similar, battery in how long they'll last. This is a huge leap from what Google's moving for. This phone doesn't get hot. 4K video in 30-degree heat, it did not get hot. So
that's Celsius for you non-Canadians.
I apologize.
Celsius.
I meant 92. Sorry, or 89, or something along that line.
Well, I just want to make sure people go 30 degrees. That's cold. No wonder it didn't overheat. No, it's Celsius.
Yeah. 30 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
2 degrees below freezing.
Yeah.
And it didn't get hot. I wonder why.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, thanks for pointing that out, actually. But yeah, so the cameras are improved. Again, you'll hear a lot of stuff about how, well, the same hardware. That's not exactly true. The lenses have been improved. The main camera is technically the same sensor, but the software that runs it is different. The lens is different. The ultra wide camera is completely different entirely. Sensor, lens, everything. The telephoto is better lens and better technology running it again.
But let me ask what everybody out there watching this is going to ask.
There's also no color shift when you switch from lens to lens, as there was on the Pixel 8 and 7 and 6. But go on, please.
Nobody wants to know any of that. Everybody wants to know the AI. Is the AI working as they say it works, or is it garbage? That's what everybody wants to know.
I forgot to put that in the computer so I could show it to you. I should send it to the computer really quick. Where's my glasses? It does and doesn't. It's in its infancy. There are times where it just says, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It doesn't do it like that, obviously. But
what I want to know is whether it works or doesn't work. Does it improve your experience and or your life on a day-to-day basis?
It does for me. I just did a video because I got a new channel, Lionel McClintock Edits.
We'll put that in the description.
I will be actually doing some, how-tos and tutorials for people who are beginners and just want to learn how to do videos and editing from mobile phones on their phone.
He's really good at photography, so that's going to be a good channel.
I appreciate the compliment.
Mike, I'll give you my Venmo when I'm done.
Where's Canada? We don't do Venmo. I think
that's right. I'll give you my strike when it's over.
Yeah, right. Anyways, yeah. So I forgot what the heck we were saying now.
I was talking about the the AI stuff, and I talked about. I asked you if it actually benefited your daily life, and you said it does.
Right. Yes. So when I was doing the video and I had to do some editing, and at first I was like, okay, this is my first video on the channel. So I think, what am I going to do for the description? What am I going to do for this? So I told Gemini what I wanted to do. Waiting for a pin. Oh God. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm trying to send a video of an example of what it's capable of doing. And for some reason, it needs a pin to send it to my computer, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. In any case, so I asked Gemini, I told it what I wanted to do, and it explained, all the points, and I refined it and said, no, I was thinking about this and that. I want to do it like this, not like that. And it understood everything without issue. And I'm getting an echo. I'm hearing myself. Anything else going to happen today?
There's no echo on this end. So, but when you say it understood everything, what do you mean? Like, what did you ask it? So what did you tell it to do?
Well, I basically, that's why it's not working. Sorry. I basically told it that I wanted to get a proper description of my YouTube channel. And I explained what I was going to be doing and what I wanted the channel to be
Oh,
for.
okay.
And it basically just gave me some
Gotcha.
point forms, and then I clarified, no, I would like you to write it out for me. And then I made one correction when it said something. I said, I don't want that word mentioned because that's insinuating that I'm more than I'm not. I want to make sure that beginner photographers and videographers that want to learn how to do some editing and stuff like that understand that they're learning from someone who's, maybe more than a novice, but definitely not a professional. So I'm not giving false vibes out is basically what I'm saying. I don't want to give out false vibes. So you get what I mean, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's good. I mean,
Excuse me.
answered my question. So yeah. All right. So yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, I use Gemini all the time when I do videos on my other channels.
Right.
I make it basically, so I take the SRT file, I turn it into a regular text file because you can't upload an SRT file because it doesn't know how to read it. So I take the text file and I tell Gemini, I want title, description, I want 25 keywords, and I want 5 key video timestamps. I'll say out of the uploaded file, and I'll upload the file, and it'll say 1 moment, and it basically reads the document, and then bam, it pops it out, and it's literally a copy paste in the YouTube. So easy, so fast, and
Right.
it's very it does a very good job at that.
Okay,
So
I've got together a video here. If I gotta get right back to this page here. Where is it? Oh, the share button. Oh, I could have just shared the video straight up. I don't have to share it like that. That would be easier, wouldn't it? How the heck would I just share the screen? I already moved it. I believe that's it. Okay, I've done this wrong before. Excuse me. So after I hit the share, I have to go back to the other screen to actually press play, right?
no, you have to add it to the stream. Even though you share it, it puts it in the queue. It doesn't.
Oh, I see. And for some reason I can't. Oh, I have to scroll. Okay. So show on stream.
There you go.
Oh, I still have to press play.
And now
So
you have to
that's
go
where I
back.
have to go
Yes.
back to it. Yes. If I can. There we go. All right, here we go. Say hi to my friend Chat.
Hi, Chat.
Hey, it's actually Chat, but I'm here to help. What's up?
Well, it's nice to officially meet you, Chat. I'm Gemini, a large language model. How can I help you today?
Nice to meet you, Gemini. I'm here to chat. Is there anything interesting you've been working on lately?
Thanks, Chat. It's nice to meet you too. Lately, I've been working on getting better at understanding context and responding in a more natural way. It's a work in progress, but I'm getting there. How about you? Is there anything cool you've been up to?
That sounds like a great project. Lately, I've been focused on helping users with a wide range of topics and making interactions as smooth as possible. It's always interesting to see the different questions and ideas people bring. Do you have any specific goals or challenges you're facing in your work?
And we have an issue.
That's funny. I
And
was waiting for.
we
I was
have an
waiting
issue.
for. I was waiting for him to say, "Can I get your number when we're done?"
Yeah, so Gemini is actually that happens. It does happen with Chat GPT, but to a lesser extent and not as often. Um, but with Gemini, it will happen from time to time where for some reason it didn't hear something, so it doesn't know that it's supposed to respond. Now, the interesting thing is when it happens with Gemini, or sorry, with Chat GPT, you end up having to press another button and it doesn't seem to know what's going on. And you end up having to exit and go back in, and then it's forgotten everything. With Gemini, you can just say, "Hey, man, are you there?" and it will say, "Oh, yes, I am," and I'll say, "Listen, I was just saying something. Did you not hear it? Oh, I must have not heard that last sentence, but it makes sense now. So according to what everything else you said, blah, 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 that means what you're actually looking to do." And then so it does it. And it has ChatGPT beat in that respect.
Well,
So it can, yeah.
A couple times when I was playing with Gemini and it locked up like that, I got a message on my phone that said that the mic could not be found or the mic's not on or something like that. Please turn the mic on and try again.
Yeah.
And
I've had that too.
And I had to actually stop it and restart it.
Yeah, I had that too, but only on my previous ones, like the Pixel 8 or the Pixel 7. That has not been an issue with the 9. It's just more integrated right into the
probably because the that NPU they have in there
100%,
obviously much more powerful.
Even when it has to try to get anything off the internet to get information, it still pulls that stuff into it and then processes it there. So if there's issues, it tries to solve it that way.
And I'm sorry, for non-technical, that's neural processing units. Sorry.
I thought it was never pretend you. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Anyways. Sorry.
All right. So you know what? I really need to get an updated version of or do I have the? Oh no, I do. I'm just seeing the other side of them. That's right. I only see one side of it. But shoot, I'm sorry. Look at that. I'm having a cough attack all of a sudden. This is not good. All right. So moving on. There's a few other things that have gone on besides the. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just curious. Did you get? I think you said you watched some of the Olympics. I didn't watch any, by the way.
Yeah,
but what I did was I watched a lot of news, negative news about various different things, all over the place. It's almost like they just did a terrible job, all over the place. Sorry, in some cases, about officiating, planning, or organization. There's just so many negative things that came out of Paris. People are going to look back at it and remember it as one of the worst Olympics ever.
I didn't see that much negative commentary, but not that it wasn't there. Yeah, I don't know. But I've had people that I've seen that are interviewed. They're like, yeah, it was fantastic. Had a great time. The Olympic Village was great. Yeah, I just think that logistically, that's got to be an absolute nightmare to coordinate. Not that that's an excuse for doing a bad job, but I think sometimes people's expectations of how those things are supposed to go is a little different than what reality is.
No, I know. Listen, but here's the thing: if you compare it to something like the last time they were held in Los Angeles, when they were held in Vancouver or Calgary, the last time they were held in Atlanta, well, we'll forget about the bomb. We'll forget about the bombing. The event,
not Atlanta.
The event itself was fantastic. Save for the terrorist act, but other than that, what is happening? Anyways, no, and there's others, right? What is it? Korea, Seoul, 1988, one of the best Olympics ever held. Fantastic. I believe was it Australia? They had one, right? A few years back.
I don't know.
London did a great job, right? So, but for some reason, the stuff that's coming out of Paris is just like, oh, it's not like a bunch of whiny Karens going, I didn't like my bed. It wasn't comfortable. This is a terrible thing. It's not like that. Okay. There are actually ridiculous bad things happening that shouldn't be happening.
Stop for a minute. I have to apologize to anybody named Karen out there. He didn't mean that as a derogatory comment to all Karens. He's referring to people who get angry for no reason.
Now, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Everybody knows what a Karen is. You don't have to explain.
You're assuming
unless you're explaining it to Karens.
No, you're assuming that. I've learned not to assume those things.
Listen, we obviously know when I say Karen, I could be talking about Karens and Kens. Okay, so anywho.
That would be Barbie, Ken and Barbie.
Man. No.
Anyways,
Aaron and Ken,
no, I've heard some, bad things, but I've also heard some good things. So, I mean, I think again, it depends probably on like maybe what your, sport was, I know a
I
lot of
don't
the
know,
water
'cause,
stuff,
I'm
they didn't do a very good job of cleaning the river. That was, a
well,
lot of people got
that's one of the
sick
negative
and,
things. You see, that's
yeah,
disgusting. I
yeah,
mean,
100%, 100%. They
okay.
had a long time to fix that. They should have fixed it. So, yeah, no,
Let's hang on a second. Here's where Gemini is going to come in handy. List of negative things from the Olympics in Paris. See what it has to say.
I feel like this is going to be the live demo that Google
Oh, the
did, and
first
it's
one
not
is
going to
the
work.
Seine River concerns, $1.5 billion cleanup effort. No. I don't need you to be audible there. Security threats. Yeah, that happens at every Olympics, so that's not fair. Disruptions for resident strike actions, worker protests, security measures. Again, that's not the Olympics' fault. That's going to happen everywhere nowadays. You have the Olympics, and there's going to be people going to protest it. So I'm not talking about that. What's this hijab ban controversy? Again, that has nothing to do with the French, does it? Oh no, it's the French that banned it. Hijab ban controversy. The French ban on hijabs for athletes has sparked a debate about inclusivity and freedom of expression. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
wow.
I think
I didn't know they
hijabs
did that.
are dumb, but at the same time, I respect anybody's right to wear it. If that's your religion, that's your belief, then you have every right to wear it. And if you're an athlete who wears it, you should be able to. In Canada, there are police officers who are Sikhs that wear turbans with a badge or, on the turban.
Interesting.
You're not going to see that anywhere in the U.S. as far as I know.
Not that I've ever seen.
But that's been a thing for about 20 years in Canada because you have a large Sikh population. And they complained and they said, I want to be a police officer. Why can't I keep my, it's still a hat.
This is this like an indigenous people that you're talking about that like have from a particular part of Canada? I've never heard that name before.
Oh, yeah. Sikh is I don't know how to explain it. It's religious more than anything. It's more of a religious difference of Indian people. Yeah. So that's their religion, and they're the ones who wear the turban. So when you see those old kind of not intentionally but nonetheless racist old movies, and all of the Indians are wearing turbans, they're actually Sikhs. They're not.
Okay.
They're from the Punjab and stuff like that. Excuse me. Sorry. That was one thing. Safety issues, concerns. I don't know why they're talking about COVID-19 outbreaks. That's if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen where there's more people. So that's not France's fault. Corruption and smear campaigns, raids on organizing headquarters, and allegations of smear campaigns have cast a shadow over the event. Crime and gentrification, increased crime rates, and the displacement of local residents has sparked social concerns. In other words, they basically, what do they call that in North America again? When they basically tell you we're taking your house too bad. Here's a fraction of what it costs. There's a term for it.
I don't know.
Something about appropriation or something. I
have no idea.
But that's basically what they did. They just basically told them, we're you get out. We need your land. And it's disgusting. All to hold the Olympics. Doping and sex testing. And in accusing women of being men, because by the way, the IOC is the only organizing body in the world that will automatically assume that you cannot possibly be fully a woman if you have even the slightest bit of an extra chromosome that suggests there could be some man somewhere in there. We're human beings, and it's entirely possible for a woman to be slightly butchier, but she's still a woman. If she was born a woman, she's a woman. She could look like a man and be stronger than a man, and she should be able to run in a woman's sport if she's a woman. I don't care if they got an advantage. So what? You know what? Nobody could beat, what was his name? The guy with the long legs that nobody ever beat for like 20 years? Usain Bolt.
Oh,
There was nothing to do with him, having some gender identity thing or anything like that. He just faster than every other man. But
he was
nobody ever
fast.
said, "Oh, it's not fair because he's too fast. I can't run in this race." Shut up. Just run the race anyways. Try to come in second, whatever it is. Maybe one day you'll get lucky. Right? So it's the same thing. The woman happens to be a bit butchy, and she's got an extra Y or X or whatever it is chromosome, and they're like, no, we're stripping you of any medals, or we're not allowing you to continue on because you might possibly have been a man one day. You have no right to actually ask that question. I am sorry.
That's been quite a controversy, and it's that I think is only going to get worse.
That's not a Paris thing, though. Just to be clear, I'm not blaming Paris. That's the IOC. But again, this is something I'd like to see somebody eventually who's hosting actually as a community step up and say, we're putting pressure on you. We're not going to let you treat people like this if you're going to be in our community. You need to be inclusive or get out. Being inclusive doesn't mean you can throw people out, throw the baby out with the bathwater, right?
Right.
And that's how the IOC is. If you don't look the part, you're not allowed to play the game. And it's disgusting. And honestly, I can't be very supportive of the Olympics. And it's did that. I've wondered for years why some people say I don't support the Olympics anymore. And I understand it now more than ever. It's a blight on the system. It throws people out of work. It gives some people work for now, but it throws a lot of people out of work. And in the long run, even more, it takes away opportunities for people to have proper housing. And so, we're gonna have all this housing for the athletes. It's gonna be housing for people later. It usually become condos that no one else can afford. And even in the few places where they do make at least some of them affordable housing, very few people get to have that affordable housing. The rest of it gets torn down and made into condos. Ask anybody anywhere. One of the few cities that didn't do that is Montreal, and you can go visit there's some of it. But they are actually at this point expensive condos.
Yeah, what I also don't understand too is a lot of these buildings they erect basically become just abandoned pieces of brick and mortar now.
Yes.
So
that's basically it in a lot of cases. There was a time where certain games could produce them. Like Montreal would have had a great legacy, in all honesty, if they had decided to build a stadium that was sustainable and wouldn't have taken 40 years to pay off. It got paid off in like 2013 or something like that. I can't remember what year. And by this point, they weren't like even using it anymore, and the roof had collapsed and torn like 15 times. And now they're saying, well, they just got to tear it down entirely. Well, yeah, no kidding. It was built in 1975 or 4 or whatever, right? For the 76 Olympics. And it's huge. I've been in it. I've seen a baseball game in there. And unfortunately, it was in the 10th last row behind the plate. I'll say that. But if I'd had a pair of binoculars, I wouldn't have been able to see the back catcher.
So why did they not continue to use it for baseball?
Did you hear what I just said?
I did hear that, but it doesn't mean they can't continue to use it for something.
Because nobody could see anything. You couldn't see anything happening if you weren't the first 10% of the people at the bottom. Plus, they had they had games where there were 40,000 fans, and it wasn't even half full. Well, maybe slightly more than half full. Sorry, I didn't fit that.
How big is it?
It was so big that they cut off 1/3 of it, and you still had room for the entire baseball stadium, and they put up a new walled section behind.
I mean, how many seats? Wall. I mean, like, was it 100,000 seats, 150,000?
No, it wasn't 100,000 seats. It was just the way it was built. It was built very flat out instead of steep, and way too much leg room. So it was about 90, no, not even, I think 85,000 or something like that. And it could be expanded to more, but they cut off something like 30,000 seats, and they were still able to put 50,000 people in that place without being able to go all the way around. And it's like, no, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Like, there is absolutely zero sports in the United States that would have wanted to use that. Not even for baseball. It was too big. Before they cut off that part of the stadium, when somebody hit a home run over the wall, who was going to go get it? It was like 150 yards that you had to go between the back end of the wall into where the next bleachers started. It was too much. It was massive.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish they would just figure out a way of, especially in today's time with, you want to try to conserve or, create long-term resolutions to, housing and all this other stuff. They would figure out a way of, if they're going to spend all this money, it's already government spent money, or, well, actually it's our money, your money, right? But figure out a way to reuse it for like the good of the people, right? It's the people that pay for it. So, but they don't. It just goes to ruin half the time, But.
Yeah, exactly. But enough of the negative garbage.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some more positive stuff. How many people out there are Call of Duty fans, and who's waiting for Black Ops? I am, but I doesn't look like I'm going to be pre-ordering. I've got some things that I got to take care of. But you know what? I'm not that upset about it because really, it's. I'm not upset about it. I can live without it. It's not a big deal. And who knows? Maybe I'll get the chance to do a pre-order before. I mean, I won't get the chance to do the beta if I miss it beyond that. But the pre-order could still get me some bonus stuff if I can get it before they stop doing the pre-orders. So,
yeah, I don't know how long the beta is going to last. I don't remember.
The beta is only a few days for the early access and for the beta.
Excuse me.
And they're about 5 days apart, I think.
Yeah, because Thursday, in 2 days, which I guess is Saturday. Yeah, is the early release, and then I think September 5th is. Yeah, I think it's the 5th. Is that right?
September 5th.
Is the actual beta release. So.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that's right. Yes, 5th to 9th, I think I want to say, or is it 7th?
I don't know when
it's either 7th or 9th. It's something along that line. But nonetheless, there are some really cool new things about Black Ops, including the mechanics, being able to dive from what they say in any direction, and shoot at the same time.
I've watched some gameplay.
Not just diving forward and getting a lucky shot or diving back. They can literally, you can jump off something, dive this way and shoot like that. Or dive this way, flip over and shoot like that.
I've seen where they dive and the player will turn the character. So like if I dive this way and then I'm literally on my back shooting like this, skating on my back. I mean, so they turn him and flip him in midair. I'm anxious to try some of that.
I'm anxious too. I mean, kind of that's the one reason why I wish I could do the early access, but it's not going to happen. But I'm pretty sure you'll post some stuff on your channel and then send me the link and force me to watch it with a gunpoint.
Well, yeah, I'll be streaming it. So you can watch my stream live. Watch how bad I am. But I don't care. I don't care that I'm bad. So
you'll be better than me because you will have had a chance to play for like 6 or 7 days by the time I get a chance to play, and you'll be all old hat at it.
Yeah, I told Blake too the other day. I guess we were speaking yesterday. He called me last night, and we were talking about the trip and going over a few things. And I said, we were talking about the track. I said it's not going to matter anyways. I said because I'm going to kick your ass. He's like, he laughs. He goes, "Yeah, you've been practicing. You got that track memorized by now." I said, "Pretty close." He doesn't have Gran Turismo, so I'm tearing it up. So
keep in mind your perspective on the track on the video game isn't going to feel anywhere near the same as your perspective on the actual track.
No, and I don't want it to. Yeah. My whole reason for the game is to have muscle memory for turns and like what's
I know you're
coming up,
basically
because
gonna
that's a
do. Yeah,
that's a
it's
big
basically
thing.
just like Senka.
I never
Not the
played that.
coffee. I'm talking about from the Jamaican bobsled team. In the scene, they're in the bathtub and he's, going over the video and he's leaning into the turns, right? So he gets to
Right.
know it. So when they actually go to the track, he memorizes when to lean and when not to lean, when to
Right.
go
I
up the
forgot all
wall,
about
when
that
to come
movie.
down. And that's basically the kind of thing that you're doing when you're playing.
Yeah.
Is you're
Yes.
getting into a muscle memory of when is this turn going to come up. How it feels when you're driving a real car is going to be different, but you'll get used to it in like one lap.
Right.
So
yeah, and we each get 3 laps, so we'll be.
that's it. Only 3. I wouldn't pay for 3 laps. Give me.
Well,
50,
it's 6 in
give me
total.
50.
We're each
Give
driving.
me
through.
50 laps.
All right. Yeah.
I'm kidding. Do you know? Does anybody? I wonder if anybody out there knows how long that track actually is.
It's 12.4 miles.
Yeah, that's not something you want to do 50 laps of unless you're a professional racer.
Yeah.
That's because it's intense driving. A lot of people think, oh, you just be driving. You just got to make sure you're a little careful and you know when to brake and when not to brake. There's more to it than that. There's a lot of muscle involved because you're basically have to be prepared to do everything on the track. And again, I've taken a car on the track, and it was tight cornered, much slower track. As it's in Canada, it's not a beautiful track in Germany that's 12 miles long or something, but nonetheless, tighter corners pretty much means the same type of experience at a slower speed. But it's like having a smaller roller coaster with tighter turns versus a big coaster with wider turns.
And on the long straightaway they have that you can reach, in a race car, you're gonna 200 miles an hour easy.
Well, the car you're doing, you're probably going to be able to do about 175 easy.
Well, no, because during the tourist drive, which is what we'll be driving in, they pull you off the track in the middle there, and you have to go back onto the track because they slow you down. Because at the end of that, if you don't brake right, you're going to crash and you're probably going to die because there's a brick wall, not a brick wall, but there's a barrier, a concrete barrier.
So it's safety reasons you're not allowed to do the back stretch.
They're not going to let some
certified racer with a certified car,
Joe Blow, come in there and go, oh, I'm going to go really fast and then go 200 miles an hour and kill.
So one lap is basically around and off, back on, around and off, back on. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's disappointing because. I'm
okay with it because you literally just go right back on.
I get why they do
You're
it.
You're gonna still be able to go fast.
A lot of people are gonna go there and they're gonna think I'm the greatest driver ever. I can handle this, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they end up pancaked into a brick wall. I learned to drive on a track with a guy sitting beside me telling me how to do it, which is the only way you should if you've never done it. Now you're doing a different type of experience, so it kind of. I can understand why you wouldn't want that experience in that. I wouldn't want it either. I was on a short track with tight turns. So you make one mistake, it's over for anybody anywhere near you. But at the same time, on the track you're on, you have more of an opportunity to get a feel for what you're doing. Because you can be way more wide open in the car you're driving on many of the turns. Like wide open on some of those turns. There's only one turn on the track I was on where I could be wide open in the car I had, but half the cars that were there could not go wide open on that turn. So just to put that into perspective, huge difference. I did, however, accidentally drift around one of the corners, and the instructor was like, that's not a good way to do that.
Accidentally.
Of course it was accidental. It's a front wheel drive. It was a Kia Rio. It was accidental.
You could drift a front wheel drive. What are you talking about?
It's a Kia Rio.
You go fast enough, you can drift anything.
Yeah, true. And it was a modified Rio. I'll give you that. But having said that, it was modified and it was pretty quick. I actually passed a lot of people with driving faster cars, because they were afraid to take some of the corners that I wasn't afraid to take. I had phenomenal wheels. The guy panicked on the second run that I went. Like, we got several laps each run. And the second run, it was a different guy in the car. and it started raining right when we started, and he started panicking. You got to slow down. He said, "No, you don't understand. My wheels are not meant for dry weather. They're meant for wet." And I had floored it. That thing never spun a tire. Pools of water, didn't hydroplane, nothing. Everyone was slowing down to a crawl, and I was just flying past them. We got to the end, and he says, "I can't believe you did that." And I said, "Why?" I said, "I had tires that were meant to drive on wet weather. What's the problem?"
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it's dry weather because I don't want to have to take any unnecessary risk. But the car I have rented is it's a Golf GTI Advanced, and I'm sure it's something that's Germany only kind of things. I've never heard of Advanced, but it's got certain, Nürburgring type spec, for, it's got like, they're not like racing slicks like they're slick, but they're not a full treaded tire. So
it's
they get
street slick.
Yeah, they heat it up and you can get some good grip. They got, racing Brembo brakes and, it's built. It's built for that track.
It's probably something that's not necessarily meant for wet weather, but can handle some light sprinkle on a mild wet road. Because if it's going to rain, they have to be prepared to not let you die out there, right?
Well, I'm sure if it's going to rain, they're probably going to put different tires on it because I don't think the tires that would be on dry is going to be.
Start raining in the middle of it. It's a 12-mile track.
Yeah, that's true.
It could literally start raining in the middle of it. It rained in the middle of my race on a small track. So it's possible.
I just hope it's a nice sunny evening and we get to just
I would just love it if you could find what do you call it, a cheap SIM card that would give you unlimited.
Well, I don't need a cheap SIM card. I mean, I have unlimited data that, I'd have plenty of data because I have a plan on my Verizon that'll work just fine.
In Germany?
But it's whether you have good, just like in Barbados, I paid $10 a day. I had whatever data and phone I wanted.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't have good data there. I mean, first of all, there's a town every 13 feet in Germany. If you get lost in the woods in Germany, turn around and you found a city. It's not like see, that's the thing. You Americans, I'm just kidding. No, come on. It's even worse in Canada. We have like nothing here. There's like a city and billions of miles to the next city. But we just forget in North America sometimes that when they say they're out in the wilderness and they're lost, that it's not the same as here. You can get lost in the Appalachians, for instance, and nobody could find you for months. Even if you
no one could find you, period.
Well, that's possible too, right?
Yeah.
But if you get lost, I'm not talking about in the Alps, obviously, but in the center of Germany somewhere, it's not likely that you're completely lost. You could pretty much walk in one direction, stay in that direction, and within 12 hours, you're probably going to hit something. It's just a lot of towns. Remember, it's thousands and thousands of years they've been building cities and towns there. So.
We'll just have to see. I don't know. We'll just have to see. It would be cool to be able to live stream it, but
I would love it. I would love it because if I'm going to keep telling you that I'm not jealous at all, at least I can actually watch it while it happens. I know it'll be like 1 a.m. or 5 a.m. I don't know what the time difference is.
I don't know. I don't know what the time difference is.
I think it's about 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
It's 5 or 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, and is it, I don't know if it's ahead or back because we don't go on the track until they don't open it up. Okay. So it's not an all day thing. They don't open it up until like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So you have like a 2 or 3 hour window. Yeah. They have like a 2 or 3 hour window, late afternoon, early evening when they open it up to the tourist drives, except on the weekends, but they don't have any weekend slots open and we're not, obviously we have limited time. So,
it would be 5, 4, 3, 2. It would be like 11 a.m, noon.
So there would be a head, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course they're ahead.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's Germany. So where exactly is it in Germany? I don't even know.
The city of Nürburgring.
I'm sorry. The city of what?
Nürburgring, hence Nürburgring.
Nürburgring, huh?
Nurburg. Look it up.
Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm.
That was Nuremberg. Nuremberg.
Look it up.
Isn't it Nuremberg?
Look it up.
Where is Nuremberg? Yeah, let's
Nuremberg
see.
is located in Germany. Here's the city's website.
Now, are you sure you don't mean...
Is there anything else I can help?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can get that. You sure you don't mean there?
Positive.
Okay, how did you spell it?
Hold on. I'll show you.
No. Just tell me. How did you spell it?
It's Nurbur. Hence Nürburgring.
Interesting. You learn something new every day then.
Yeah, Nürburg Nordschleife.
Small village in Germany, most famous.
Oh, that's why you're mispronouncing it. Okay. Nürburg.
Oh, sorry. I'm not German. Sorry. I did spell it for you, and you still didn't believe me, but that's okay.
Nürburgring. Ja, das ist richtig.
Anyways.
Es tut mir leid, mein Deutsch ist nicht gut. Ich spreche nur ein bisschen. Ich verstehe. Sehr.
Okay.
Bisschen.
Okay.
Okay.
And
All
on
right.
that note, I will have some amazing footage from that. We leave September 20th. I'll be back on the 28th or 29th or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually probably either have nothing that week, or maybe if we can, maybe we'll put together something in advance just to put out there.
Well, I'm actually, because it's going to be me and my son, we might even be able to actually do the podcast. It just kind of depends on
Actually
timing.
be cool. You know what? That would be cool.
So
if we could do that would be even better, you know?
Yeah, we'll
long
just have to
distance,
see.
Not that this is a long distance, but that would be doubly long distance, right?
Yeah, we'll just have to see.
I can change my time. I mean, obviously, so for what works.
So on Wednesday the 25th, which is when we'll be there. Oh, let's see. We're going to be at the track that night.
You obviously can't do it when you're at the track, because you.
Well, no, we don't drive the track until the next day.
Oh.
We should be arriving at Nürburgring at around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and checking into our hotel, which is called Motorsport Hotel. It's literally right next to the track. It's a really cool car themed hotel. It's going to be pretty cool.
So I'm guessing there's not only really good 5G signal there, but probably really good Wi-Fi in the hotel too.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, if we could do
actually communicate from that location, I guarantee it.
Yeah, maybe we can do something from the track, you know? Not on the track, cool. Obviously, but like with it in the background or something. That'd be pretty cool. We'll have to see.
It would be interesting. Of course, if you did the live stream through this instead of some other way, I could sit here and go, all right, he's going down. He's heading around turn 1, and he's really got his foot on the pedal now.
Well, fortunately, Streamlabs I can do on the phone live stream.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then, he's hit the brakes a little too hard. He looks like he's going to spin out. Oh, he's got a good recovery there. Let's get on with it then, shall we?
I hope there's I think he's going to spin out commentary.
I wouldn't be doing that anyways. I was just trying to make fun of it. So. But, of course, if I was trying to call soccer, I would have done it like this. I was trying to be football. Yeah, I can call it soccer over here. It's football. Yes, I have to make the faces too. Right.
Okay.
I think we should probably call it a night.
Yeah.
End it with that. I'm definitely not I'm going to actually. Robert's going to do it. First of all, I got to mention this. We got to always remember. First of all, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon here. Check out Robert's other channels. Specifically, since you're here, probably you like tech news and stuff like that. I'm falling off my head. Gadgets Guys Gadgets. He'll have his link there. And of course, check out my my channel, which I've suddenly forgotten the name of.
We'll put the link in the
You'll put the
description.
link in the description. Lionel McClintock edits. That's what it is. As well as his gaming channel. So check it all out. Have a lot of fun, and we'll see you next week. I'm Lionel McClintock. I'm in Toronto, Canada.
And I'm Robert, just outside Nashville. And we'll see you next week.
Ciao.